So after a pretty successful stint from F1 2010 to 2014, F1 chose to move to next generation consoles and make a big hardware leap for F1 2015. And this was the game we got. A game with no career mode and extremely bare bones. But there's one thing in F1 2015 which everyone forgot about. F1 2014 was also in this game, and nobody ever talks about it. It's the completely forgotten feature of F1 games. Essentially, we have an F1 game that was built, and it has 2 seasons within it, and it's fully playable depending on what season you want to drive. You've got the game features, which are very, very limited and was the big drawback of this game. Championship season, pro season, which they made a big kind of headline, fuss about, which was basically you're locked to career mode, doing cockpit view and having no on-screen assists. And then quick race, multiplayer, time trial, and my F1. Extremely, extremely, extremely bare bones. But today, we are going to do a quick race. What track? We have a few options. Malaysia, tempting. But today, we're going to go for Hockenheim. Why not? Everyone loves it. Now, we have a full grid of cars and drivers. I don't know what spec of car we're going to see. So, for example, the Caterham was horrific at the start of 2014. Absolutely gopping. I don't know if we're going to have that version or the late season version, which looked a lot better in this. And same goes for all the other cars. But generally, a year of horrific looking cars. The Red Bull was one of the better looking ones, if not the best looking car on the grid. A fresh face, Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel still in Red Bull colours. Lewis, Rosberg beginning the V6 dominant era. Ferrari with Alonso and Raikkonen driving for them. Lotus, 4th in team ranking after 2013, then had Grosjean and Maldonado as their drivers, and they had probably the worst looking car alongside Caterham with the twin tusks, double nose McLaren. Good start, podium in the first race, double podium I believe, Button and Magnussen, but it then began the very, very dark age of McLaren until they recovered towards the end of 2019. Force India, what a lineup. Hulkenberg and Perez, also good car, but a massive, massive suspect nose on that thing. Sauber, same story, dodgy nose, couple of dodgy drivers. Let's move on. Toro Rosso, Jev, Kvyat, decent drivers in their time, but will never ever be in Formula 1 ever again. This was just before the Verstappen era arrived. Williams, Martini Williams, Felipe Massa, Valtteri Bottas still hanging around, although at this point had no wins, no podiums, and was completely fresh-faced rookie in Formula 1 pretty much after 2013. Marussia, Jules Bianchi, of course, the late Jules Bianchi, Max Chilton, and then finally Caterham. Iconic lineup, Kamui Kobayashi and Marcus Ericsson, Indy 500 winner.
Round 10 and we're over halfway through the Formula 1 calendar. Today sees us arrive at the Hockenheim ring for this weekend's German Grand Prix.
I do, in a way, like a lot of these things this game had. I thought the sounds were actually pretty decent, and the graphics, arguably just as good as now. Honestly, they hold up very well for a 10-year-old game. But let's get on track. We're racing as Massa in the Williams. We're going to do a 15-minute practice session, so we're just going to get a few laps under our belt and just get comfortable with the car. Here we go. Animation. I've not changed nothing on the car or the setup. Completely stock Williams. Yep. Let's get out on track and let's see what we're looking at. Everyone is going out right now. And we have rain. Well, I think the rain's already here, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, I want to note, we have the old-fashioned menu. So you can see here, you pull up the menu on the left, and you can use your engine mode, which is how we used to have it in the old F1 games, which I didn't actually think that ran into F1 2015. Also, we have no downforce in this thing. So we'll put the bias a bit rearward. You can see there we've just got the simple menu. Tyre temps right now are pretty cold. Oh, force feedback just kicked in out of nowhere. I mean, this wheel doesn't support this game, obviously. Or this game doesn't support this wheel, more like. This game's actually surprisingly drivable. Surprisingly easy to drive. The 2014 cars were not particularly great for handling. You know, they were very unstable. But, you know, we are in a Williams, which was, give or take, it doesn't matter if it's an F1 game from 10 years ago. The fact is, we're always going to get interrupted by the engineer. Like I was saying, we're going to get interrupted by the engineer. we're starting to do okay now, and you know, like I said, this game's pretty easy to get the grips with. No battery modes or anything, just engine modes to deploy. Oh, hello Daniel. Nice and easy, mate. Don't mind me, just trying to finish a lap here. I don't think we're going to improve. We lost a bit of time. Oh, look at this. I forgot about this. You get given the tablet. That's a throwback and a half. Not much has changed on the old setups, has it? In 10 years. Ballast. No longer a thing. But generally, not much has changed. Also, back in this day, tyres, primes, options. So, in the monitor, let's have a look at what sort of pace we're looking at. So, we're a second quicker than Hamilton. I think this is okay. I don't mind this. I think we're going to have a bit of fun in the race. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Germany for today's qualifying session at the famous Hockenheimring. The pit lane lights will turn green in the next minute or two to signify the start of qualifying.
Qualifying is full wet, by the way. Let's just go out on track and see what the conditions or what the wet weather is like in case we get no rain in the race. The old rain don't change much, does it? Looks exactly the same as the current game, pretty much. Surprisingly easy to drive, like just very, very drivable, period. Wait, bit of opposite lock. Quickest after 2 sectors. Not sure what the track limits will be on standard, but probably could have actually gone strict, to be fair. I'm finding it pretty easy to stay within track limits. There's no reason why this track could not be imported into the current F1 game. Like, the game looks very similar and feels very similar, the vibe. Either way, would have been pole, but we will now roll out of it and drop to last. So Hamilton on pole. Let's make sure we finish in last place. There we go.
Welcome to the Rhine Valley and the Hockenheimring, where we await the start of the highly anticipated German Grand Prix. So let's join the action down on the grid. Here's the grid for today's race. We'll be starting shortly.
Now, I've actually backed out and upped the difficulty to Legend, which is the hardest difficulty possible. There's no slider like in the current game. It's just Legend, Expert, Hard, and so on and so forth. So for this one, I feel like we'll start on the Prime, the more slower compound, and then try and use options later on. We cannot adjust fuel, so pretty much that's all the strategy flexibility we have. So let's get into it. Like and subscribe, and let's have some fun. Felipe, baby, it's time to stay cool. Lights on at Hockenheim. Okay, race starts are not manual. Anyway, away we go. No full speed back currently. Hopefully it will arrive. Alright, let's see how the AI behaves, shall we? We've got 17 laps, so plenty of time to carve our way through. I want to try and keep my front wing in one piece. And there's the full speed back. Oh, getting right out of road. No curves, no ERS. Just basically all we have is fuel, rich mix. My wheel full feedback has gone off again, hence why I swerved into Chilton there. It just went off, so now it's back. We're going to have a lot of that. Let's try and get past the Caterhams and the Marushas, which we've achieved. It's whenever I make an adjustment on the car, the full feedback goes, so we just have to be careful of when we do them. We're on the outside of Bianchi. And now we can go after Maldonado. So good start. No tire information in the top left, you know, what other cars are on. We've got no live delta like the current game, but right on the outside, beautiful pass on Pastor. We now have one of the home drivers, one of the many home drivers in 2014 in Germany, Sutil being the first, Hulkenberg of course being the other, and then of course Seb Vettel towards the sharp end. So first lap then in the books, P17, we'll take that, that's a good start. This game holds up very well. I'll be very honest. I mean, it's same engine as right now, so there's no surprises there. Down the inside of Sutil, who does not defend the inside. Using the high gears, seems to be king. Let's try and have a look at Roman Grosjean. Fuel currently on optimal. This is how the old F1 games used to be, so you only get optimal in the past, so that would be your only reference if you're doing okay for fuel or not. You'd get them +1 or -1 lap. No damage. Tyre temps looking a bit on the cooler side. I've got no force feedback again. Oh, there it is. I basically can't make any car adjustments. Gutierrez, next up. Sauber are absolutely comical this season. They didn't score a point. And there we go, we opened DRS. Luckily I can use DRS and not lose force feedback, which is nice. Up the inside, that's a lovely move, no lock up. Already up to 14th, we're making very good progress here. Let's see if we can try and gain some time. I'm hoping we save fuel just by running in standard revs. And then we could basically have like a lap of, you know, rich at the end. Or as one Timothy Marduk loves to say, put it into fast. So now we're kind of seeing a bit more of that maximum AI difficulty kick in. So we're going to see a bit more realism. We've got a multi-car train ahead of us here, so a good chance to make up some ground. Kvyat is going to be the first one. Bit of contact there. I forget about the super long noses which hang over the front wing. Unlike the current cars. So you can't get as close as you'd think you would in the current machines. Whoa. Bit too aggressive there, carrying speed. Going faster and faster every lap, so we're still finding some time. We're very strong in Sector 3. There's a few trains. I can see a lead group up ahead. Hamilton has the lead, you can hear there. We're going to have a look at Jev as we have our first stops already on lap 4. That's very early. JB into the pits. This seems to be the move of the day. Getting the run through turn 1 and then up the inside of turn 2. Although now we're going to see what the straight on speed looks like. It's going to be Mercedes versus Mercedes versus Mercedes versus Mercedes engine here. Just trying to get close. These soft tyres should be starting to go. Little switch back there. We're going to just squeeze on the outside line. Can we run it around the outside? Yes, we do. Whoa. Okay. K-Mag was still there. That's on me. That's my bad. The arrow is so small. And I'm driving a white car. The arrow doesn't go red. Starting to get some tyre wear now on the rears. Also, you can see here, fuel starting to save. So we're looking okay at the minute. Right, straight past on Vern. Same as before, carbon copy. We know that move works. We like that move. So back onto the Force Indias then. It seems like only Jensen Button has pit so far. Down the inside of Checo. That's a nice move. And that move is done. We've cleared him. Big lunge. Hulkenberg not pitting, staying out. You can actually really ride the curbs. We'll just wait. We know we like the move into turn 1. Back off, get a bit of a gap. Tyres are really struggling now, so we have to try and make these count, these mediums. Hulkenberg on the outside. We'll just set up the exit and the line. We're starting to struggle now, but we still get a decent gap. We're getting so much in the final sector, not being stuck in traffic. Cars in the pits, quite a few this time, including our teammate, Bottas. 18.6, 6/10 off our personal best. We can now carry some real speed through certain corners. We've got Hamilton just behind us, who has rejoined on a fresh tyre. So the remaining cars pit, which means we will lead the race and the pit window opens. So we'll lead the race for a little bit. We've managed to gap Lewis a slight touch.
We expect the tyres are getting a bit worn at this point.
Okay, so autopilot into the pit lane. Didn't get a chance to control that. Not sure if we have any control in the pits. Either way, don't expect a safety car. It wasn't in this game. Don't expect a red flag. It wasn't in this game. And also, the virtual safety car did not exist in 2014. So those things just weren't a thing. So there's going to be no strategy element here.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Right then. Back on track. Soft tyres. Now we get to push. I will move the brake bias to the front. You can also change the downforce. I didn't even think about that, but we will change brake bias to the front. I feel like front locking might help us a little bit rather than rear locking. Right, time to rev it up. Rich revs. Time to go on the charge. We've got fuel to burn. You can see 1.3. Raikkonen first up. Ferrari power unit wasn't particularly great. This should be like taking candy from a baby. And this will give us a nice little leapfrog onto one Fernando Alonso, who we should be on the back of very shortly. So P6, I'll take that, but we'll keep pushing and try and get something else. The cars, to be fair, batting for the podium are not that far ahead. Might go back on that brake bias adjustment though, to be fair. Here we are then, behind Fernando. We're going to have plenty of fuel here for a few laps to burn, so this is good. Quickest of all. We'll back off, get the run, and breeze by before we even get to turn 2. Brake bias is back to standard. So Ricciardo's next. What is the gap? Let's find out at the split. We've got 4.5 laps to go, 6.2 to make up. That's going to be a tall order, really tall order, but we'll give it a shot. And we'll give it our best. Let's give it everything and see what happens. Hopefully they battle as well. Front left is absolutely screaming. I can feel it. Still, keeping the pace up here. Now we're getting confident. Taking the corner cuts. 4.4 is the gap. I can see them right there. Here we are. We've arrived. They're right there. We've still got plenty of fuel, so we can keep going for this. I'm pushing flat out. Tyres are holding on. We go even quicker. 16.0. Let's try and get DRS here for the back straight on Ricciardo. Not sure if we'll challenge into the hairpin, but again, DRS will help us get to our targets and objectives quicker. I think we might actually have a shot here, you know that. I'm not particularly great on the brakes, but we've nailed the first sector. Oh yeah, we're definitely going through. This is going to be easy. 330, 340 Ks, and we're straight into P5. And there's Seb Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. We are so much quicker. Our car is glued to the racetrack. Oh, look at that. Straight on the inside of Vettel. We sneak through. And now we just have to pass Bottas. Would have gone quicker again there on that lap had we not had to wait. But we go straight through versus our teammate. Bottas fights back though. Going to try and get the car straightened up, get the power down. And we get the exit and we're through. P3. 2 laps to go. Probably not going to catch Rosberg. Another German. 4 Germans. Bloody hell, I forgot about Rosberg. So Hamilton is going to win the race. Rosberg, P2. And we're still pushing here, but we're not going to catch Nico, unfortunately. We're just going to run out of time, laps, tyres and fuel. But what a recovery. Had we not had that contact with Magnussen, we may have challenged Rosberg for P2, but Lewis wins it, and we go from last to P3 in the Williams. And there we go, race done at Hockenheim. P3, we'll take it, very good result. Also look at the results by the way, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 team order in the top 12, top 14, and then it breaks in the bottom half of the table. But yeah, there we go. Good recovery, good fun. I actually really enjoyed that, and it was actually surprisingly okay to drive, and the game holds up really, really well. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. There may be more videos in the future for F1 2015 and 2016 now that I have these games working. And yeah, do you miss this game? Did you even play the 2014 version of 2015? Anyway, like, subscribe, like I said, comments down below, guys, and also a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the links down below to my channel sponsors along with the videos on screen. And yeah, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, and that's goodbye from me.